Good morning. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV in beautiful spring day, Fredrick, Colorado. My name is Chris Capper, and today I have the honor to present to you a 2025 Newmar London Aire 4551. And this is just absolute luxury. When you pull up in this coach into the campground, you're going to get all the looks in the world. What's really neat about this is that we've got some special stuff on here. We've got special paint. We have the blackout Onyx package on this. I've got the solar. I have all the amenities that you'd expect on a coach like this. So this is really going to get you and your family to your campground, wherever that might be, enjoying your life. You worked hard, you've earned it. So let's look at this beautiful London Aire. So we'll start on the front right here. This is going to have the BASF Masterpiece paint finish, and we actually have a special paint on this. So it's got Phantom Gray, Anthracite Metallic, Cayenne Red Metallic, Onyx Metallic, and then also the black toner. So it just looks absolutely gorgeous. You can't see it as much shining in the sun because we have this awesome Girard Nova awning package, and what this package is going to include for you are these beautiful Nova awnings. We have dual Nova awnings. I also have the window awning, so I've got one on this side, two on the other side, and then I have this nice door awning too. Now, in addition to that, when these slides are open, you're going to have the slide out toppers, which is going to minimize any debris or detritus that might get on those slide outs, which means less maintenance for you, less work. Man, the whole thing about camping is going to be more fun, less hassle. And let's talk about camping. Part of camping is getting there. And so this is going to be built on the Freightliner custom chassis, which is standard for 2025. This chassis has a, what's powering this is a Cummins X15 605 horsepower engine, 1,950 pounds of foot torque, and a 20,000 pound tow capacity. So if you want to hook up a stacker trailer, we got you covered. We also have the extra dual camera system that can go in this stackable trailer and on the outside, or maybe you're going to bring your horses. I've got on the other side, we've got a bunch of awesome horse trailers. You can bring your horses with you, and you can have a camera in there to make sure that your animals are in a good condition, and also behind you so you can see behind that. But we talked about safety. So a few things that this has is going to be the brake sync. So we can hook that up with your Air Force One. We also have a Kurt Spectrum brake controller in there as well if you're not using that. This has the Drive Tech, which has the OptiView screen and the Road Watch system, basically in the V-Ride. So this is going to have the Mobileye sensor detection, automatic traction control, collision mitigation. So if somebody gets in front of you and you don't notice them, or they brake check you, or an accident's about to happen, that's going to provide up to 50% of your braking control to help mitigate you getting into a collision, or also to make it less, or make it more minor if you do. So we also have the electronic stability control system. So if you do get on a little ice, sand, or snow, or rain, it's going to help utilize the 4 air brake systems with analog brake system with that. So it's going to use that. We also have an anti-roll on this as well. So if you're taking a corner and maybe you're new at this and you take a corner a little too tight and the coach realizes that we're in an unsafe position, it's going to do what it can to keep you upright and safe. So the whole point of what Freightliner Custom Chassis has done is just to make this a much safer coach for you and your family. We also have a 52-degree wheel cut on this, and we have an UltraSteer passive steer tag axle. But let's look at these wheels. So again, we have this Onyx package. Look at this, American Racing Coach Series by with the Freightliner up here. Just looks gorgeous. And what is this on? Michelin 365 by 70 R22.5 tires right here. So these tires are 20 ply tires. Nobody has bigger tires on these things in this weight class, in this price range that Newmar does right here. So they're using the best American-made tires right here just to make for a more comfortable drive. Now what this is connected to is an independent front suspension. So it's a ZF independent front suspension, and then we also, I talked about the brakes, we have the Bendix Air disc brakes with anti-lock brake system. Now what's also making this really nice is we have Sachs custom tuned shocks. They're custom tuned to this coach. For every floor plan, Newmar has the Sachs engineers in there, and they custom tune these to make sure that you're going to get the best ride possible. We also have, this is a diesel pusher, so we have diesel fuel on both sides, and then I don't know if you can see it, but we have a nice piece of metal right in here. So what that's doing is guarding that diesel hose going into the 150-gallon fuel tank. So in case you had some road debris come up, you don't have to worry about that breaking that hose, which can get messy, it can get dangerous. Newmar's tagline is when you know the difference. And the key with Newmar is they've been doing this since 1968. They've been an innovator in the industry forever, and they invented the slides. They invented so much stuff that they're doing. So talking about the slides right here, this is a flush mount slide. So what does that mean for you? Well, that means that when you're driving, you're not going to have all that extra noise coming into the coach. So it's going to be a quieter driving experience. There's also going to be less chance for water, snow, dirt, anything to get in there because it's going to go by it most likely. So Newmar has the fewest slide issues in the industry for any Class A diesel or gas out there. And another really cool thing about the way Newmar builds things, almost every single coach in the industry is built with a laminated sidewall. When something's laminated, it can delaminate. So if you've ever seen the waves or the ripples or the bubbles in a sidewall, that's what happens when it's delaminating. These right here are built like your house. It is a residential 16 on center using C-channel, and they have batten insulation that tucks into that C-channel. And then they also have on the inside of the wall, they'll have a vapor barrier and a 5/8 inch bead foam insulation. So anywhere you're looking on a Newmar, if it doesn't have a window or a door, you're gonna have one, if not two pieces of insulation. These are built just amazing. So speaking of building amazing, if we're looking up at these windows right here, you'll notice they're all the safety glass tinted windows, dual pane. It's gonna make it, again, quieter, and it's gonna help your temperature in there. Each one of these windows is framed, but you'll see how we have this radial area. There's a gusset in there that's also welded to the frame, that when that window's put in there and they put that permanent glue adhesion around it, that window becomes part of the wall. Nobody does it that good to my knowledge. So also, while you're looking at it, you can see that even the London Aire's got that Onyx blackout to it. So it just looks really, really sharp. So let's look on the inside of this a little bit. So here I have a Dometic 3 cubic foot freezer, refrigerator, or refrigerator, or freezer. Whatever way you want to use it, that's the way it's going to be. So you'll notice this comes out nice and far. Why? Because my slide comes out to about right here. So I can open this up, I can get my beer out, I can get my steaks, my hamburgers, whatever I have, whether frozen or refrigerated. Very easy. You can adjust this if you have something larger to put in. You can also take the whole thing out. So very nice. I've got that on both sides. Multiple compartments I can set each side independently. It's a dual refrigerator, freezer, storage area with a nice slide. We've got that hooked into the 12 volt. It can also run off a 110. We'll talk about the power here. And then what they've done new for 25, I believe it was 25 they introduced this, they have the nice shelf here because this was kind of wasted space. So now you can put some chairs up there or whatever. Maybe you put your grill in there. Now this is an all-electric coach, so you just want to have something that you can plug in or bring your own propane bottles, but you can put your grill in there, your grilling utensils, and all of that. Now let's look at these doors. These are new for 2025. Newmar went with Moride. Moride is known in the industry as being one of the top steel manufacturers, and these right here don't have any of that that flex that they used to. It wasn't bad, but it's just better now. And they're also soft closed doors now, so I don't have to use a lot of effort to close that. So, and you'll notice that normally you'll see on this, you'll see the nice chromed handles right here with the chrome package. But because we have the Onyx package, this right here is going to have that nice blackout look to it. So above us, we have a 4K ultra high definition Samsung Smart Television with a nice Bose soundbar. And what's cool about this is I have a controller, so I can either run this from the XM radio or the AM FM radio inside, or I can run it from the TV right here. And then above us, I have two outlets here, plus a USB-A and a USB-C. So I can actually have my phone plugged into this, Bluetoothing right into this right here, and listening to my jams, right? And this will be a metal slam latch right here. Now, another thing with a lot of other manufacturers, when you have a TV in here, you have either minimal or no insulation on the other side of that. That's not the way Newmar operates. This is going to have a lot of good insulation around there, so that way this is not going to be something that you have to worry about. So let's get this open. I'm going to open a couple of these here. So you'll notice that I've got the nice shelving right here. So on both of these, now this right here is a complete pass-through, and I get this to come out about 60% of the way. Why do we do that? Well, with my slides are out, I can still access the stuff, and when my slides are in, I can even access the stuff that's in the middle of the coach. So whatever I want to store in here, whether it's a stand-up paddleboard, kayak, I mean, there's a lot of things you can put in here. And then you just pop that down. Now, I just want you to kind of take a look in here. So if you'll notice, right here is my rail. Now this rail, this is on the super luxury, the SL, Freightliner SL super luxury or superior luxury chassis system. And so those are my two rails right there. And with these rails, these are heavy duty, and then it's lowered on the rear section so you get more storage space. But if you're looking right here, you'll see I have a truss that goes down, all the way down below the floorboard. And then this comes all the way around here, this heavy duty steel. That's called our Star Foundation. If you'll notice, it's raised above the rails. So what does that mean to you? That makes for a quieter driving, and it also means that the interior of your coach is going to be protected, because if the coach flexes a little bit, it's not going to affect your interior floorboard. It also brings the weight, the center point of gravity, lower on the coach. And then on top of each one of these doors having a good, sufficient amount of insulation, nobody has this much insulation on the bottom of their basement. So this entire basement between my front axle and my forward rear axle is going to be heated. So we'll talk about the heating system in a little bit, but it's really exciting because you don't have to worry about if you're in sub-zero conditions. Well, maybe not -80. There's probably a limit somewhere. But if you're in but who's camping in that, right? If you're in very, very cold conditions, this is going to be nice and hot. So here I have about a 3/4. Actually, that's a full one. I just had that one open. This is about a halfway pour. And you'll notice when you're looking in there that I got my Intervac road vac system. So this is a whole house vacuum system, and my tools for it are in that bag. So I can use that, connect right into here, and I can clean up any one of my compartments on either side with that. And then in addition to that, you can use those inside. Now, in case I have an issue with an awning, and by the way, these are literally best in class awnings, but I can also use this to get them back in. And then some extra porcelain tiles, and then an air system. So if I need to air up something, I can hook that into the front area. I'll show you where that is in a little bit. And then also notice I talked about cooking, right? I love to cook. In most of these compartments, I'm gonna have, at least in the one compartment or the one next to it, I'm gonna have outlets. So right here I have 3 outlets I can plug into. Now this is a new piece for 2025. This is my bus system. So whether you're a do-it-yourselfer and you can use your ohm meter and check the situation as far as what's getting power or not, this right here is gonna show you where everything is. So everything is nicely labeled. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I can see bathroom crown lights. I can look up here, bathroom reading lights right there. So right hand and left hand. So if I have an issue, that'll probably turn red, so I'll know it, but I can also easily test it. Just little knobs right here come off. Also, if you're having one of our award-winning technicians work on this, it's gonna be a lower cost of ownership to you because it's a lot easier to get into. It also frees up space in the rear closet. And it's just a much better system. It's not as jumbled as it used to be. Now, right behind this right here, we have a 105-gallon freshwater tank capacity. And coupled with that, we have an 80-gallon gray, and then we have a 60-gallon sewage tank as well. So, and I don't want to forget to mention, I did talk about the diesel. This has 150 gallons of diesel to get this 605 horsepower X15 Cummins where you need to go. Docking lights here. Now you'll notice this is new. I haven't seen these too often, but in the last few months I've started seeing these. This right here is your blind spot monitoring. And you'll notice I have them throughout. So I've got one here, I've got one in the very back, and I also have one a little bit up there. So it's just gonna let us know if there's somebody here. Now we talked about these nice tires. These are a different size, 315s by 80 are 22.5 inch. Still have these great American racing. Now if you notice, I've got like an Audi there and an Innie here. What that means is that, and on the front, that's kind of an Audi. What I mean is that my lug nuts are kind of like sticking out where this one is in. What this means is that, just like on the front, this is a passive steer. That's an active steer. This is a passive steer, whereas Freightliner calls it an UltraSteer tag axle. So those go about 12 degrees, coupled with a 52 degree on there. You can really pivot exceedingly nice, especially considering we're in a 45-foot coach. So coming back here, you can see my 15-gallon diesel exhaust fluid container, which will last you a long time. I can also fill that up on the other side. I'll show you where that is. And then here I've got 2 nice AGM batteries for my chassis. And then I've got an on-off switch, and just to the right-hand side, you'll see that I have the spot that one of our diesel technicians can hook into that and see what needs to be done. Now here at Freightliner Transwest Truck Trailer RV, we're a Freightliner Elite level support, which is the top tier. We are also a Newmar Diamond dealer, which means that is also top tier. There's very few dealerships in the country that get that, and I think we're the largest one that gets that. So I want to take a moment just to step back and look at the paint. So we can see it in the sun. You can see how this metallic paint, you can see the anthracite gray, the black toner, the cayenne red metallic, and I forget the other one, but you can see how nice they come up. You got that nice fin up there. And then here I've got this high definition camera. Now that is synced with other cameras throughout. So I have an 360 degree camera system. So when I'm driving and I need to back into a tight space, not only can I see directly behind me, I can also see all around me. So that, coupled with the blind spot monitoring, it really just makes driving these so much easier. So now, what do you not see here? You don't see a radiator. So radiators on the side. So that means this is going to be a lot easier to maintain over time. It's going to be a lower cost of ownership for you because this is one less thing that technician needs to do, and it makes it easier for the do-it-yourselfers because it's a lot less intimidating to have to remove that. Now, right behind there is that massive 15-liter engine from Cummins. Just absolutely gorgeous, and it's going to get you where you need to go. I've got an engine block heater right here, but if you notice, everything here is so well put attainable that you can go ahead and check your oil levels, your transmission levels. You can do fills and all of that. You can see my air filter instructions, so it's telling me how that's working. Now, if I just look over onto the right side, you'll see this is my Oasis hydronic heating module fluid. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. If it's nighttime and you need to look, a nice little light for you. And then there's not really a lot to say except this bad mamma jamma is going to get you where you need to go. So coming down here, you can see where we're at. But here I've got a nice 20,000 pound tow hitch. I can put 2,000 pounds of vertical weight. This is going to be my 7-way plug, and this is going to be the brake sync that Freightliner has. So that's going to hook up and then to your Air Force One or whatever you have. And then this is going to be that Voyager camera system, which you can put 2 additional cameras on that. All this is already done for you. So really takes all the extra work out of it. So coming here, you'll notice I've got another one of those blind spot monitors, and right here, guard. So it's going to help mitigate any rocks or anything going up and hitting your horses if they're back there, or your tow vehicle, or your stackable trailer. This can carry a stackable trailer. We've got a really cool thing I'll show you in a little bit. Absolutely monster radiator grill right here. This is all going to be painted in that BASF Masterpiece paint finish. That's going to, by the way, this last year's I've had a 2007 Dutch Star in here. The paint looked almost as good as this. So just absolutely phenomenal. Depth fluid fill on this side. Gorgeous tires. So when I was in the Boy Scouts, we have a motto called "Be Prepared." So this right here, good place to put that stinky slinky. Now, you don't need it, except if something were to happen with that macerator. Now, the macerator that we're using on this is a best in class. It's that Sanacon by Thetford macerator right here. Now, what's really neat about this system is I've got about a 20-foot hose here. But if I'm at some family or friends' houses and, oh, my Oasis just turned on. So if I'm at my family or friends' houses and they have a septic tank or sewer that's up to 200 feet away, I can actually hook a regular hose up to this and get that out there. Now you might say, well, how can you get solid waste through that? Well, this macerator right here is basically a blender. If you've ever seen anyone make a banana smoothie, same concept. And the other cool thing about this is that this can go uphill or downhill, so it's not a gravity drain. Now, if something were to happen to this, being prepared, we also have our gravity drain here. It's not going to have all the same features and abilities as your Thetford system, but in a case of emergency, this is where you would utilize that. And then keeping that extra stinky slinky in there is going to be really nice. Water filter up here, and just to the right of that is going to be my winterization place. So all you got to do is follow the instructions, and you adjust these valves right here, pop this into your winterization fluid, turn on that water pump, and which you can do right here, and then go ahead and cycle that through every feature here. And don't forget this is what the #1 thing people. Stainless steel outdoor shower. This is also a brushed steel here. Now, looking at this, looking at this right here, I have a, I can look at whatever I want to do here. So I can turn on my lights here, and then I can turn on my generator here. I can turn on my water pump on and off, autofill, all that stuff here. Little button for my RV Santicon system. And then I have, not only do I have a black tank flush, I also have a gray tank flush. So sometimes gray tanks can get a little bit stinky, so this is going to help with that. I also recommend, we have a product that we have in our store called Unique. Unique is probably the best that I've ever seen used. When you're doing your end of season, you have your low point gray and black, and then we also have some low point drains on here, and then there's also one back there. Now right here is a powered hose reel, so it makes it really easy to connect to where you need to. And then my water pump, sorry I'm kind of all over the place here, my water pump is on the far right, so if you ever need to do anything with that, you can go ahead and replace that from here. It's a lot easier than having to get somewhere else. Now check this out. The way that Newmar builds things is this comes in, now it comes up. So you can have an extra large wet bay and still be able to do everything that you need. So I really love the way they build these. You'll notice when I open every one of these, I've got an automatic LED light that's coming on. Here I have a 50-foot, 50 amp power cord reel with a surge protector. Now remember I said I had a surprise for your stackable trailer or whatever you're towing behind you. I have a 30 amp plug right there. So if you're a race car driver or you need to power something that's 30 amp, you can go ahead and hook it up right there and you've got the power to it. So you guys know I love Oasis. Oasis is the best in the industry. This is your hydronic heating system. This does your water, this does your heat. So let's talk about this for a quick moment. This is a low pressure system. The other one that you'll see in most other coaches is less expensive. It's called an aqua hot. Nothing bad with an aqua hot, but why this is better is that low pressure system versus high pressure system. It's going to be easier to maintain, less maintenance, less fuel requirements, and less exhaust, and it's quieter. This also has a dual loop configuration. So I've got a pump that pumps all that Oasis hydronic heating fluid that you saw in the engine bay. It's pumping that in the rear of the coach to the mid, and then the other one's from the mid to the front. So if there was a situation where one of those pumps went out, you can still keep your coach relatively warm because you still have that one pump working. Now what's really neat about this is that not only do I have a diesel burner in here that goes into a stainless steel versus a steel tank, so it's going to last you longer. I have two electric elements too. And so if you're looking at like a 450D aqua hot versus this Oasis, 50,000 BTUs right here, the electric elements on here put out, I think it's about 25% more heating efficiency. So on these right here, they're just kind of the other side of what we looked on those pass-through doors. So you can get those, whatever you put in there that we showed you on the other side, you can get it out on this side too, up to about 60% through. And I'm gonna open this, and this is so amazing. So Lithionics, made in America, and I believe it's in Clearwater, Florida. And that is one of the, if not the best in class battery systems out there right now. We have, this is a 640 amp hour rating. We also have two Freedom 3000 watt pure sine wave inverters. What's so cool about this system is that if you're driving, you don't need to run your generator to run that front air conditioner. It will run right off of that huge alternator's charging that. And what else is charging that? I have 440 watts of flexible solar panels up there. I also have a 10-watt solar panel that's doing a trickle charge on my chassis battery at all times. So just wonderful systems right here. I absolutely love those. And I want to take a quick step back and just look at the side of this coach because I've got both of the other window awnings on that covering. So both sides of my living room are covered in my dinette, and then I have the main window for the bedroom is covered. So if you forgot to close the nightshade and that sun's coming up over the beach and you're just looking out there in the beautiful Atlantic or Pacific Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico, and that sun's coming up, you're like, uh-oh. Well, guess what? If you had these down, it's probably not going to bother you too much. Here's the other side of my diesel fuel. Not a whole lot to look at here. And then on this side right here, I have my chassis stuff. So I've got my chassis fuses. Each one of these fuses has an LED just to help you know if there's an issue. It should light up red. A window cleaner right here. And then right on this side is going to be my HWH hydraulic slide for the front. Now that is a Cummins quiet diesel generator, 12,500 watts, okay? And I'm standing right in front of it. It's really not that noisy at all. Just to the left of that, look at those big horns. Those air horns are gonna let that guy who cut you off know that you're there, right? Now, if you don't want to blast him with the air horn and you do have a selector nodule in there, we've got our two regular car horns right here, windshield washing fluid. This right here is going to be the oil filter for my diesel generator. Hot water line from the Oasis. So if your Oasis is on, you're going to have hot water here. Why is that important? Well, I can hook up a hose, and if I've got a bunch of bugs on that windshield above us, that coupled with that windshield cleaner in that front compartment is going to take those off super easy. Two air hoses right here, so I can hook into there and use those as necessary. So I'm gonna get around and shut this, and I want y'all to be looking at the front. So you'll notice on each side of the coach I've got these nice bus style mirrors. They're heated and the top parts are electric. Now you'll notice, where are the windshield wipers? Well, on the luxury brands, we've got the windshield wipers tucked right under here, so they're not an eyesore. This whole front area, you can see we're still using this nice Onyx package. We've got this nice LED system on here, adaptive headlights right here, so you can keep your brights on, and when another car comes in, puts them in regular mode. Right above this, on this nice bonded safety glass windshield, you can see my Mobileye. So this is gonna give you that adaptive cruise control, lane tracking assist, all that stuff that you have in your vehicles and have had in your vehicles for years are all available standard on this beautiful London Aire by Newmar. So on each one of these windows, not only do I've got the little triangle, so if there's somebody standing there or a car there, that's going to light up and say, hey, there's something to pay attention to. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but my sonar system can. And then I also have a turn signal indicator, which lets other people know that, hey, you do expect to be getting into that lane in the near future. Nice little flagpole bracket right here, and beautiful oversized handle right here. Nice little ribbon design. Keyless entry feature. So I can lock and unlock this by just holding this, and that'll lock either the door or lock the door and all the compartment bays here as well. Doorbell feature, so when your friends are over to hang out, they can push that, let you know they're there. And then you can also just leave your keys in there. You don't have to bring your keys when you go hiking. So now, if you look at this, that hit my leg. So whether that is a leg, a person, a human, a rock, whatever it is, that's going to automatically sense that and go back in or stop, so it doesn't cause any damage to a person or property. But you'll notice how that comes out nice and low, small amount of space to get up into that. And then we also have a nice little screen door right here. So I'd like to invite you in to join me, and then what I'm going to do is take this remote and I can just pull these all the way in. So you'll see that those awnings come in. Now these awnings are pretty cool because I can do one or multiple or all of them and have them out. So I can choose that. They do have a motion sensor on there, but if there was a strong gust of wind, I've literally had this on one of my live videos almost a year ago. Popped that straight up in the air, was violently shaking. They went right back in, no problems at all with them. So the Girard Nova awnings are by far my favorite awnings in the industry. So please join me inside, and what I'd like to do is let you just kind of get a glance at what this looks like with the slides in. So you can see you have plenty of space, and while I'm pulling these slides in, I'll tell you a little bit, or putting them out, I'll tell you a little bit about what we're looking at. So again, oops, this has got 3 slides. One of them's a full wall slide, which is on the right. That's a more floor slide, so it's not scraping against your porcelain tile. It's keeping it right above that. And it's a really nice system to have. And you'll notice as that's going down, it just lowers into the floor like a elevator. Now we have on those, the awning colors, the special colors, the charcoal tweed, but what we're looking at in here is the Montera decor. And also on the hardwood maple cabinets, we have the two-tone here. So it's a Sable Summit Maple hardwood in the suede finish. So two-tone is new for 2025. It's a really nice feature if you ask me. And thank you for asking me because I just answered. And then another really cool thing that they did this year was this nice little metallic grid pattern here. So let's come back here. For some reason, this heat is on. And it was a little cool this morning, but I don't need that on, so I'm going to turn that off real quick. Okay, and I'm going to turn my Oasis off. There we go. So I'm putting out the bed. So we're going to head into the bathroom, but I'll just talk about this a little bit. Got a nice king size bed. This is on the Premier Air mattress. Luxurious comfort. And if you'll notice on each of the nightstands on each side of the bed, there is an individual control to where each person can control their side. Now you can also control both sides from that. So you can set whatever that sleep number is for you that you need, you can set it right there. Coming into this bathroom, are you ready to experience some luxury? Because I am. So here I've got a nice egress door. There's a telescoping chrome ladder right there. So if in case there was an emergency, or you just didn't like your neighbor and you wanted them to experience your backside when you're using this, you can open that up. And that chrome ladder will telescope down when you just pull this little false panel out and allow you to get out in case of an emergency. Now the cool thing is that you're probably not going to have to deal with that. What most people do with that is just they load the rear of their coach, so the back half of their coach. Dad's giving mom the laundry or the pantry stuff right through here. So got a porcelain foot flush macerator style toilet, and then I can control that right here. Nice little designer toilet paper roll. And then look at this beautiful closet. So this right here, the smoked glass, got that, bringing that onyx look in here. It's right here. And then I have a little place to hang up stuff here and there. And this extends all the way to the other side. So I'm going to open the other door to let you see. And you'll notice that I have a nice shoe garage right here. So I can put my shoes, my hiking boots, whatever it is. And then this extends all the way. Now, most people don't quite have that many clothes to hang up because you'll see I have some more hanging space. So we also have some adjustable shelves in here. Now, if you did just want to hang up some shirts, some purses, some scarves or whatever, you can take one or two of those out and keep the rest of them in. Newmar's just giving you the capability of customizing this as you see fit. So now, Throughout the coach, I've got these KIB panels, so I can go ahead and access what I need to. It kind of gets you where you need to be. So right now, it knows that we're in the bathroom. So what's it showing me? It's showing me my lights. So I can turn the lights on and off right here. And then I also have this really nice 3-shelf cabinet, medicine cabinet, with a GFCI outlet in there. So if you want to keep your hair dryer, your curling iron, flat iron, whatever it is you need to keep in there, maybe for the guys, your electric shaver, you can keep that in there plugged in so you don't have it on the counter. And if it's a shaver or something, you can have it charging as well. So let's take a nice step back here. Just look at the beauty of this. So I have this light coming in through the mirror system, and it just looks great. You could have all your other lights off, just keep your courtesy lights on and that on, and it's nice at night, right? And then we have these artisan sink bowls, his and hers, hot and cold. It just looks absolutely gorgeous. If you're going to do some shaving, you can just push that down and fill that up and rinse your shave as you're doing your shave in the morning. And push it again, and that opens. On both sides of this, we have, you notice that on the light. So I've got nice storage on both sides, and then I have 4 soft close drawers on this right here. And then this is where my heating system comes out. But there's another heating system in here, and I can feel that's on. My electric heating system. So it's on even on my engine bay compartment. So this and this open up for engine maintenance. That's heated. So, and then this is going to allow me access to my washer and dryer. So if I need to do anything, winterization, or if there's a problem, I can just turn that off there. Now, speaking of the washer and dryer, we'll keep it on this. I've got a Splendide washer and dryer, a little place to put your washing elements, your dryer sheets or whatnot. And then this is going to vent outside the coach, which is going to make it dry quicker. And then just this beautiful woodwork all throughout, floating panel inserts right here, just in case you're in a high humid environment, and allow the wood to expand. So you'll notice I have a beautiful, I think it's 50 inches by 34 inches. I believe this is the largest shower. This 2 places for your towels right here. And then when I open that, you'll notice that fully tiled enclosure. So this is all real tile. We have the assist handle put in here, rain shower feature here, and I have the wand feature, which normally would be here. This is winterized. I don't want that dripping the winterization fluid, but that's where you can keep that. So you can get all the from under bits, anything that you need to, get it nice and clean. And what I have here is a nice teak seat right here. So if you just had a long day, or ladies, if you want to shave your legs, you can just sit there, do what you need to do, and relax. Now, just over here is going to be, if I turn on my aquamizer system, I push this over here and recirculate. When that turns red, then you know that it's circulated from your freshwater 105-gallon tank through the Oasis heating system back into here. When that turns red, you know it's hot. So then you can put that normal, and then you only have a tiny bit of cold water, whatever in that pipe, and then whatever's in this hose right here. Right here is a great place to put your body wash, your conditioner, and your shampoo. And then you have 4 places to hang, whether it is your razor, your scrunchie, or whatever. Nice little shelf here and here. And then look at this drain. It is just absolute luxury. Goes across the entire area right here, and it just drains in there. And again, this is all real tile, real glass. And then right above me is this beautiful cathedral ceiling. And you'll notice on that ceiling, there is a fan right there, so that will vent this. Now, when you're in here and you're getting ready for your day, you might want to see what you look like. So I've got a full-length mirror right here, so I can see how beautiful I am in the morning, which, of course, we all know mornings are when I'm the most beautiful. So please come into the bedroom. We'll take a quick look at this. I'm going to show you this side, and the other side's identical. So I have a nice little area right here. I've got a USB-A, USB-C, and two 110 outlets right in there, so I can just plug in and charge my phones as necessary. Both sides of this, I've got my day shades down throughout the coach. I also have night shades too. I have a KIB panel right above here that I can control the lights for the whole coach. I can turn my generator on if I need to. I can put my security lights on, but I can also raise and lower those as appropriate. We talked about the sun coming in. If the sun's coming in across from us, I can, and if I forgot to put my awning down, I can actually shut that shade right there. Now above this is going to be another outlet, and just about every horizontal surface in this that's in a cabinet is going to have carpeting. Hidden hinges right here, and you notice how beautiful this two-tone color scheme is here. And then we also have a little pass-through situation. So if you do want to have a CPAP, BiPAP, oxygenator, any type of breathing device or anything, that'll actually pass right through here into there. I have heard that some people say those need to be down lower, either at or below heart level, so you could also plug that in here. Now, both of these windows open up, so if you're at the beach and you want to hear those waves coming in and you want to smell that salt air, you can just have those cracked open or opened all the way, and you get that like pass through sound, smells, wind coming in, and then luxurious bedding. So I'm going to open this. You'll see that is my control unit for the Aire mattress. I've got two table leaf extensions right here, and then I have two folding chairs right there. So we'll get to that in a little bit, but I just want to point out this base. So I have these nice struts right here to make that really easy to open and shut. Very thick wood base right here, and then we have this nice cover right here, soft here, so if you bump your leg on that in the morning or at night, it's not going to hurt as much. And then I have this nice LED underlighting too, so just absolutely gorgeous. And speaking of gorgeous, if you want to look up down the whole entire coach, this is my HVAC system. So we talked about my 50,000 BTU heating system. I have 45,000 BTU of air conditioning heat pump. So there's a lot of ways to heat this coach. I have my Oasis system, dual loop, diesel, and two electric elements. I have floor heating, and I also have heat pumps up here. Now what's really cool is you don't see any travel trailer style plastic vents around here in this part of the coach or the front part, because it's under here. So when the slides are closed and I'm running my generator, or if just up front, I just want to run that front one, it's going to, I don't need to run the generator for the front because I have those two sine wave inverters, but it's going to bring my air a nice convection current. So it's going to get everything nice and cold for you, or warm as you need. I have storage up here, so as you can see, and then this is also where if I want to hook up a satellite system or a streaming box, I can do it right there. I personally prefer Blu-ray. I use the NVIDIA Shield Pro. I love it, but if you have an Apple TV or a Google Chromecast, that's where you would do it. Two windows right here. Another one of those is an emergency exit is required by law, but we know which one we're going to use. So I've got 6 drawers down here. So all these drawers are nice. I've got the dovetail construction on these and nice stainless steel slide out. All 6 of these. Now I have 4 smaller drawers right here, identical as well. A nice 43-inch 4K ultra high def smart Samsung television. And then over here, this is articulating, but check this out. Nice little storage spot right here, and a safe. Here's the cool thing. Safes can be cracked, but if they don't know it's there, they're not gonna look for it behind the TV, in most cases, I would think. So that's gonna give you a good level of protection, and it also is hidden, it's out of the way. And then this right here will pop back, and then just click it into place. So my awning mechanism is going to be right here, so I can extend it or retract that. So I'm retracting that. And my bed slide out that I was using earlier is right there. Here's one of those KIB panels right here, and you'll notice, what do I have? I have the lighting mainly for this room, but I can also access my driver's security lights and turn all the lights off. This is fairly identical to what's underneath that piece, that cabinet over there. So that's hardwood right there. That is thick, it's heavy, and it's beautiful. So let's check out this real quick. So I have a nice little mid-bath stool room. Again, I have that luxurious mirror in there. Another macerator style porcelain toilet, and then plenty of storage in there. And if you'll notice, that's where I hook up my vacuum system. So I have a vacuum hookup right there, and then on the right, I'm gonna stick my leg in there real quick, a little dustpan, so I can just sweep up everything in that electronic dustpan. Another fan in there. And then here's my silver leaf system. So on my home, I can see my tanks. I can turn my genset on. The genset on this right here doesn't just do the batteries, it also does HVAC. So if you have your furry friends in here, this will take care of them. So if it gets down to above whatever temperature you've set, let's say that's 78, it'll pop that generator on, cool it down, just in case you lose power at the campsite. You don't have to worry about your puppy or your kitty. I can see my legs on my AC, and I can do everything here. I can come here to coach mode. This is a really cool feature. So right now, I should be in outdoor unplugged, and then I could activate that. And what that's gonna do is it takes all the difficulty out of camping. So this is gonna, whatever situation you're in, that's what you hit to activate. And I can do my generator. I can look at my DC power, so I can see that 640 amp hours where they are right now. My water system, climate, I've got the 3 areas, living room, kitchen, bath, and bed. 4 areas, 3 air conditioners, plus my Oasis. Block heater, batteries, and floor heat. So these right here, they run on 2-minute increments. So if it's in 1, that's gonna run 2 minutes and then be off for 18, 10 will be on for 20 minutes. So it's a 20-minute cycle. And then store, if you just have it in storage and you're hooked up to power, that is just gonna keep a minimum amount of heating there. I can do all my shades right here. My TV, left vent fans, everything's there. So really nice. Anything that you can do on here, you can do on the phone app. So it's pretty cool. Now, let us look at this kitchen. I'm gonna put this over here. So, nice little kitchen right here. Well, I shouldn't say little. Lots of storage. So, adjustable shelving. This right here comes out. So, if you can't reach in the back is easy, you can just pull this out and access what you need to right there. And again, we got these nice 2-tone cabinets. Little area for storage. And then we have another storage area right here with adjustable shelves. Now coming over here, I have this nice pull-out area, and then I have 3 drawers on this right here, so you can see how nice those are. And this is a little bit lower than that. So if you are going to be chopping some carrots or whatever, this right here is a nice little cutting board on both sides. True Induction cooktop. You can take this out and cook outdoors with that. And then we have all of your extra paints, and look at that, that's a lot of extra paint right there. Extra valves, all your remotes, universal remote. This also says universal tool module, which is really cool. But typically what you're gonna store in here is gonna be your kitchen utensils and your silverware, right? I have a Fisher Paykel dishwasher in a drawer. I can put stemware in there, plates, and that's gonna be a really good way of making sure that your dishes are clean and sanitized. Now this is new. So I have this Blanco. It looks like a kind of a granite style right there, and it really matches the whole Onyx package with the 2-tone that we've got. Each one of these are highly polished, solid surface. And if we look right under here, I've got a place to store those. So I can get those stored right there. I have a little pull-out spot right here, and then a nice little spot for there. here's where you can store those pieces up here. So got that, place for your scrubbies, place for more stuff, so more storage. So, and again, all these are going to be dovetail construction. And then anytime you see something like this, this is where that Oasis heating system is going to be coming out. We got the nice LED lights underneath here throughout the coach. And then I almost forgot about showing you this. Check out this pantry. Automatically lights, double wide, real wood, dovetail construction. You can put what you need in here. Can you see yourself camping in this? Because you can bring all the food, and I love to entertain with food. These are adjustable, so if I want to put like a something in there, I can put lots of different things in there, appliances or cutting boards or whatnot. Refrigerator, freezer. I got an additional filter, air filter, water filter, ice, and then if you look in the door, I can also get water out of the door, and I can lock that for travel mode. Now, on this side, I've got more storage up here. And then here I have this really nice Euroboot dinette. It's extremely comfortable, and this comes out pretty far. And then I can put both my table leaves in here and have 2 people sitting on each side. So you can probably easily fit 4, with kids probably 6. And then these right here also open, and again, nice wood construction with stainless steel slide outs. So pretty nice. I did forget to mention the Whirlpool. This is a brand new microwave right here. It does air frying, it does roasting, grilling, all the things that you would expect, but more, okay? So sorry about that. Now coming over here, you'll notice I've got all these beautiful windows around. I've got the day shades down to kind of keep the glare out. But if I want to just chill out for the day and watch some TV, which you don't go camping to watch TV, but I just come over here and hit TV lift up, and then I can recline this back and just kind of like watch whatever I want to watch. Now right above that TV, you'll notice that there is a huge Bose sound bar. That's a Bose 900 sound bar, and I also have a Bose 500 subwoofer to accompany that. So got a nice 50-inch TV here, smart Samsung 4K ultra high def television, and then we have additional storage above here. And then if I want to hook up streaming box, satellite, Blu-ray player, that's where you do it. And then more storage here. And you'll notice that this nice couch right here, the sofa, is a tri-fold sofa sleeper, so you can fit 2 full-size adults on that. I've got electrical elements on both sides of this. And on this side, I have a USB-A and a USB-C. And I also have 2 USB elements in the theater seats here, and then additional outlets on that as well, and over there. So more storage here. And then you'll notice that this right here kind of has a little bit of a structure to it, so it's not just like boxes within boxes. It's just so nicely done the way Newmar works on everything. Now, right here I've got a little bit more storage, so you're gonna probably figure out a place. I'd probably put my dog harness and leash and the poop bags in there, so that way when we're taking her out, that's where we're gonna go. More outlets, more USBs. Now check this out. If you'll notice on here, I've got heating. So I have 3 levels of heat, but I also have cooling. I have 3 levels of cooling, new for 2025. And what am I sitting on? I'm sitting on a very comfortable Italian leather passenger seat. So it's all real leather in here. We got the Italian leather up front here on the passenger and driver seats. This does turn around, and then I can also recline this, put this out, recline it back. I can do everything on that chair that I can do on this chair, a little bit bigger chair there. So I could have 2 people here, 2 people here, 2 people here. So, and then I can even have more on the dinette. So really nice, comfortable way to entertain your friends, show them where you're at. Now talk about TVs, we got one in the bedroom, one here, one outside, and I got one right here. So another absolutely huge, ultra high definition Samsung. Just to the left of this, Starlink. I've got Starlink on here, so no matter where you are in this coach, you're gonna have internet access as long as you have an active account with them. Got the Newmar router, high definition omnidirectional antenna right here, and then another thing for my awnings, exterior LEDs, so I can turn my entry level steps on and off my exterior LEDs. I can cycle my lithium-ion battery system here, so I don't have to go outside anymore. Let's see, you've had this in storage for a while. I can actually just cycle that right there. I can do my privacy drapes, security lights, all that stuff right here. Easy to do. Window awnings, this is where we control them. But let's just look at this right here before we go. So set that there. Now over to the left, so this right here is new. So I've got nice leveling system right here, so I can actually level with my airbags, and when I'm traveling I can either do a low ride or a high ride, so depending on what I'm traveling over, that's going to give me my air leveling system. Right next to that is going to be my HWH hydraulic leveling system. So this right here is big and powerful, and that's going to give you your big leveling when you really need to get leveled on when you're on a bad slope. This is the other one's going to be just if you're just parked for a night and you're already pre-level. This will take care of you. So I've got override right here, toll window right here, but again, I've got a universal toll module, so I don't really need that. I can turn my air horn on or off right here. Heated windows, electric controls for the upper areas. If you look right here, it's my Curtis Spectrum brake controller, so I can adjust that if I feel like I'm getting a little bit of pull when I'm braking. It's a little bit too high, I can adjust that down or up. And then I got my fog lights and my dome light. Now here, this right here is my OptiView system. So with Freightliner, I can access everything I need to with that. I've got powered controls right here, phone system here, and then I can do my dash system. I've got the Comfort Drive, which is going to make this the best driving in the industry, and I can just turn this super easy. And then I'm going to get that going, and then if you look at my camera control, I can actually do 360. Now I do have my slides out, so it's not giving me the best 360 on this with the slides out, but you're not going to have your slides out when you're doing this. But if I want to look at my trailer cam, I can do that. If I just want to look at a really tight display when I'm backing that in, and then I can also look at wider displays, so you have a lot of different options with that. So everything is super easy at your fingertips. I've got navigation system on here. I've got my Sirius XM, so anything that you need is going to be here. So I just want to make sure I covered everything on this before we go. I do have a monitor on the passenger side, so if my wife is driving us and she wants to change the radio station, I don't want her to because she's listening to Taylor Swift and I don't. But anyway, she'll go ahead and change it there. But the real key thing is if I'm low on, if she's low on diesel, I can go ahead and put the next fuel station in there. So we've got that, and I think I've covered everything else on this. So real quick on the heights, 44 inch, 10 inch in length, 8 feet 5.5 inch in width, 13 feet 4 inches in height. Interior height 6 feet 11, 150 gallons fuel, 105 gallons fresh, 80 gray, 60 sewer, and we're in a 2025 Newmar London Aire 4551. We're at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. Please give me a call. My name's Chris Capper, 813-333-2988. I'll take care of you with our award-winning service department. Thank you so much.